Hey everybody, welcome to Code.org Unit 3, Lesson 7. So we are going to get working on something called sprites today, which is a great way to start creating video games because you need to have characters in your video games. And today we're going to be learning about how to put images instead of just squares or circles and that sort of thing. So you need to make sure that you sign in properly. Everybody that's been signing in has been doing this. Click on the red bar, continue with Google. Select your name. And we are in Unit 3, Lesson 7. Yours page looks a little bit different than mine. But I have unblocked Lesson 7. Scroll down. And so we're going to go over the basics. But guys, this is code.org. You have to do a lot of exploring on your own in order to be able to get these assignments done. So even if you were in my classroom, I'm going to give you kind of just the basic instructions and expect that you're going to do the exploration on your own. Okay. So remember, you're going to be looking at the diamond. The diamond shapes are information pages. So you can see that this page here gives us our vocabulary and our new code. And then we have 2 videos to watch. So make sure that you watch those because they give you important information that I'm not really going to go over too much. Okay. So our vocabulary, we have dot notation, property, and sprite. So dot notation is the way that sprites properties are used in GameLab by connecting the sprite and property with a dot. Okay, and you're going to see what that means in one of the videos. The properties, a label for a characteristic of a sprite, such as its location and its appearance. And a sprite is a character on the screen with properties that describe its location, its movement, and how it looks. Okay, so the new code that we're going to be learning today are the draw sprites code and the initializing a sprite variable. So let's see, animation tab. I don't think there's anything on here. So let me see what this is real quick. Can't remember. Oh yeah, this is just talking about what sprites are, okay, and how sprites are drawn. Okay, so let's go back and hit continue to exploration. Okay, so you're going to notice some new code, and you're going to notice that your toolbox now has a lot more tabs in it. So we have our world tab, our drawing tab, our variables tab, our sprites tab, and our math tab. Okay, one of the things that you're going to be looking at today is how to initialize a variable, how to name your sprites, and how to animate your sprites. So it says run this code and see what happens. Okay, so I run the code. I see a picture of an apple and I see a picture of a carrot. Okay, so notice what we have here. We have our purple, which initializes the variable, and they named this one fruit. And it tells us the sprite is created at 100, 200. And if I show you the grid, there is 100, 200. The variable vegetable, okay, which is at 300, 200 right here, has been set to the picture of a carrot. And then at the very end, we have something called draw sprites. Okay, so we can change some things here. I mean, we can change where something's located. So we can move the apple. Okay, we can move the carrot. Let's go, let's see, 300, 300. Let's do that and move it down a little bit. So this is just you exploring, kind of see what things do. You can see that these are pull tab or drop down menus. Now watch what happens if I change this to carrot. Now they're both carrots. Okay, so you can kind of switch things up that way too. It's really important that the draw sprites block is at the bottom, and you're going to see that in the future here. So the next one is a video, Introduction to Sprites. This is something that I would like you to watch on your own. It's only a couple of minutes long. And I'm not going to play it on here because you can play it on your own computer. Okay, so then we have our skill building 4, 5, and 6. So I'll kind of go over those briefly. All right, so we have our sprites. So creating a sprite based on the video that you should have just watched. We have our variable, so we go to sprites. This is initializing our variable. So it creates a new sprite and assigns it to a variable. The default name is sprite, so you'll want to change it to something that is more meaningful. Sprites only appear on the screen when you draw them there, so you call draw sprites and it will draw all of your sprites on the screen. So do this. So initially, we're not going to give our sprites, they're not going to be anything other than like a square. So we're going to, it says add var sprite, create sprite 200, 200 under the comment, creating sprite. So I need to drag this over to here. And I'm not going to change the name right now. I'm just going to leave it as sprite. Okay. And then if I hit run, nothing happens. Okay. Because now what I need to do is I need to make sure that I draw the sprite on the screen. So I drag draw sprites to the bottom, reset it, and there it is. And it appears right at where it says it would at 200, 200. Okay? Let's move on. Okay, so this program should create two sprites, one on the left and one on the right. So let me go to my version history and start this one over because I think I already did this one. So here we go. So if I run the program, I can see that only one of the sprites shows up. Which one shows up? Well, this one here at 100, 200 shows up, but this one at 300, 200, which should be over here, didn't show up. So you're going to have to change the code. You're going to have to rearrange the code, okay? So think about where everything should belong on here, and there's really only one thing you need to move, okay? Alrighty. Let me run this, and I see we have a problem. So you can notice that we've initialized 4 variables. We have top left sprite, top right sprite, bottom left sprite, bottom right sprite. Okay, and they're all at the correct positions, but we don't have the animations set. So it says use the set animation command to change the look of the other sprites. So I'm going to do one of these for you and show you what you need to do. So whenever you initialize a variable, you have to animate that variable. Sometimes animation just means put it somewhere, okay? Set animation just means put it on the screen. So we have to take our sprite set animation and we have to put it underneath the variable. Now, if I hit reset and run, there's an error. And the error is because I didn't name my sprite. So what I need to do is I need to take this and I need to put that down here. So the easy way to do it is to click on it. Whoop. I didn't mean to do that. Click on it, copy it. So Control C, go down to sprite, Control V. So now they're the same. So now I need to choose what I want that to show up there. So we have 4 choices. We already used alien, so let's use red plane. All right, so let's see if it worked. And there it is. So that's what showed up. So you need to do the same thing for these two. You need to set your animation up. You need to change. You have to have the name in here has to match the name in here. And you need to put them in between. Okay? So I'll let you guys do that. Another video here that you need to watch. And this one is talking about adding images to your sprites. Okay? And that's what the last 3 skill building activities will do. So I'm going to go over a couple of them, and then the rest of them you're kind of on your own. Alrighty, so let me reset this. Alright, so this program draws 3 sprites to the screen, but it's not working yet. The wrong sprite is in the front, and one sprite's animation isn't showing up. So let's run the code. It says run the code to see what happens. Okay, so we have a problem. So we need to make sure that the words are in the front, the pop or soda is on the left, and the ice cream cone is on the right. So what you need to think about is how these are set up. So we have the message, okay, text ready, which is right, but here's the problem. The message shows up underneath everything, so it's a positioning problem. So you need to take these two and drag them underneath everything else. We have drink, and the drink is at 100, 200, and we have the animation set as drink. So these two match. Remember, these have to match. These match. These don't match. So we have a problem there. So This says dessert, so down here we must also make it say dessert. Okay, so we fix that problem. Well, let's see what happens. Okay, so we have them appearing in the right spot, except the words are in the wrong spot. So what you're going to have to do is drag these two to here and make sure draw sprites is always on the bottom. So there's a shortcut to do this. You can just kind of highlight both of them together, drag those down like so, and there you go. Okay, so I didn't mean to do that one, I just got excited. All right, skill building. So you need to look at this code here and figure out which one of these it is. So remember, in order for it to work properly, draw sprites must always be on the bottom. The variables need to match the set animation. So we have variable dog, variable dog. We have the background, 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 so all of them are sky blue. You have to figure out which one of these goes where, okay? See if you can match them up. The practices, so out of the practices we have 6 practices and you need to do 3 of them. So choose 3 of these practices. And some of them are just kind of changing the name, some of them are changing the order of the sprite. Have fun with it, guys. This is not, I mean, we're not looking for perfection here. So we see a problem here. Something is wrong with the scene below. Some sprites are behind other sprites when they should be in front of them. Can you fix it? So let's see what it looks like. All right, so we got some sprites. So we got some bugs that are behind things. So obviously, we need to kind of match where things go. So let's put the snail animation up here. See, it doesn't really change anything. What we need to do is change the order, actually the initialization. Let's put the snail at the bottom. Let's move the snail to under the cactus. So things aren't working out. The grass, we can put the grass up top. So it's not really doing anything. I wonder why. Oh, I know what we have to put our variables up with the proper thing. So you make sure that snail matches, ladybug matches, boom, cactus matches, grass 1 and grass 2. Okay, so now we can kind of fix the order up on these. So let's put the cactus, we can put the cactus first, drag them both to the top and see what happens. There we go. So now the snail's in front of the cactus. And so you guys have to kind of figure out the order in which to put these things. All right? It takes a little bit of finagling, but you can do it. All right, the rest of these are going to be kind of on your own. I will post a video explaining how everything is done. Let's look at the assessment. Okay, so the assessment, there's no code here. You have to create the code. So based on the video that you should have watched right here, you have to choose some sprites to use. So it says go to the animation tab. The animation tab is up here. So what you need to do is select 2 sprites to use for your animation here. So I'm going to click on animation, new animation, and then we have this library of stuff. And oh, this is awesome. They put a bunch more stuff here than there used to be. Ooh, germs. Let's do germs. There we go. Gross. Okay. So I'm going to put looks kind of like COVID. Let's put that in there. So it's called Gameplay Wacky. You can change the name of these, but I'm just going to leave that one. Let's put another one in here. Let's go with let's go to food. Let's do pizza. There we go. So there's the 2 animations I want to use. So I go back to code. So they're there, but I have to access them. So it says in the code tab, create 2 sprites in 2 different places on the screen. Assign each sprite a different animation. Draw your sprites to the screen. Okay, so first thing we want to do, we want to initialize our variable and we want to name it. So let's name one of them germ. And remember, we have to match them up. Germ. We can see there it is. So because I selected those, they're both there. So if I hit run, it doesn't appear. because I still haven't added my draw spray thing. So this is going to appear right in the middle. I want it to go up here in the top left. So let's put it at like 100, 100. And I think they're going to be really big. They might kind of go off the screen, but that's all right. We haven't practiced using the scale yet. All right, and my second variable, we're going to call this one pizza, because that's what I used. And yours could be different. Let's put it at 300, 300, because I want it to be in the bottom right, which is down here. All right, so I need to animate it, so I have to also call it pizza. And I have to select it from the drop-down. There it is. Still didn't work because I have to put my draw sprites in the bottom. And let's see what we got. There we go. And that's what it looks like. All right, so that's kind of what you're going to be doing. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm going to get rid of it. There we go. All right, challenges, guys. Remember, challenges don't have to be done. They're on you. These ones are a little tricky. This one's tricky. This one used to be one that kids had to do. But if you get it, it's extra credit. All right, good luck.